Alright guys, so here we go. Tier Me Up Inside, a new series I'm starting where I do different tier lists from tiermaker.com, and we will go over various different things, retro game related, movie related, and everything related. Everything's related, I think, but we're going to go from there. So basically what is going to happen here is this one we are doing all Nintendo consoles. So I'm going to go through the list down here, place them where this, once again, I won't say once again because this is the first time I'm saying this in the series, but these are all just my personal opinion. I'd actually like to know what your guys' opinion on this too is in the comments below. Or do something similar with the video yourself and, yeah, tag me in it so I can see what you guys choose. But the tiers on here is obviously S is the best ranking, A is good, B is okay, C is kind of... C's gonna be like my lowest rating on here, and don't know is just I do not have enough experience with this console at all to really give an accurate opinion. For example, we will just start off with, I will pull up, let's see, most of these Nintendo DS's. I played the 3DS a little bit. Wow, how many Nintendo DS's did they come out with? I didn't even know this, but I haven't dealt much with these DS's, so this right here is going to be one of those things where I'm going to throw up there anyways. I have played with the SP. Yep, okay. So there, I already trimmed some fat, as they say. Oh, we got one more. Like I said, I just put it in the don't know category because I don't know. I have not played it enough. I do not know the games enough on that system, and it wouldn't be very... I wouldn't have enough integrity to just accurately give you guys an opinion on it. So like I said, S is best, A is really good, B's okay, average, C's I didn't like it, and D is don't know. So we're just going to start off here and go in order. So Game Boy Advance, I'm going to have to go with a B. It was okay for me. The only reason I say that too is this came a little after my time playing games on the handheld. I went from, you know, playing a bunch to growing up and just not, you know, playing them as much. Like, I wasn't riding the bus anymore. We weren't going on road trips as a kid. So I wasn't just sitting at home really playing too much. And I played some of the games on there like Dragon Ball Z Legacy and a couple of the Pokemon games, but I didn't like the fact that it didn't have a backlight. Because I even bought one about a year or so ago, and I wasn't a big fan of not having a backlight and stuff on it. The games were good, and it's perfect for RPGs and stuff like that. I think Golden Age and stuff is on there, which I really liked. But it's an okay console for me. I wouldn't technically go out of my way to buy another one. I have one already. I think NES Addict gifted me it. So I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to get another one now, but yeah, I'd say it's an okay ranking. Moving on to the Game Boy Color. Oh, I think I messed up. I'm going to have to put that in an A. So, I got a Game Boy Color for Christmas one year with, God, I want to say, I think it was Pokemon Blue. And I did not put that thing down for months, years, whatever. I just kept playing and playing and playing that. That thing was one of my favorite things ever. I loved all the different kinds of colors and stuff they had for it. The fact that you could play the original Game Boy games on it as well, which was something I kind of missed talking about the Game Boy Advance games. Yes, you could play the older games on it, but for nostalgia reasons, in my personal opinion, I love the Game Boy Color a lot more than I love the Game Boy Advance. Once again, the Pokemon games were great on it. And I will skip over to here and we will talk, since we're already talking in the handheld section with the Game Boys and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to throw out the Micro and the original Game Boy onto the B ranking for okay, because yes, they're handheld, yes, they're just like the Game Boy Color, but they weren't in color, and there was games that you couldn't play on there that maybe it's a nostalgia thing too, but I mean, of course they had Zelda, Tetris, and stuff like that didn't need it necessarily have colors, but they were a lot better when you could have colors. But there's Tetris and stuff like that didn't need it. But the Game Boy, I thought was a lot more, especially when it came out with the color, it blew everybody's mind. How you had to buy the special games for it too, that were, you know, I think if you could see through the cases and stuff like that, you could play them on both of them. But there were certain games that you could only play on the Game Boy Color. So I'd have to put that, and that's what I got so far. So I'm gonna just get this one out of the way. The Game & Watch, not a big fan. I didn't like it at all. I bought one, especially the anniversary collection and the ones coming out again, and I was just not a big fan of it at all. It was cool. Yes, you got Mario games and stuff on there, and that one Game & Watch game or something like that, but sure, back in the day, I'm sure it was really freaking awesome, but nowadays, just like coming at it from a whole different purpose, or a whole new time and modern age, I just did not like it at all. I am gonna throw this SP. I'm not a huge handheld fan, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, Steve, Greg, from Retro Games. I'm sorry, I'm just not a huge handheld fan. But the SP, the only reason I'm throwing it with the B2 is it's because it's kind of a similar thing. It was like, it could play the Game Boy games and stuff like that, but it was not like a huge, it's not a big thing for me. I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it when I could just get a Game Boy Color, which I'd probably play a lot more. But I heard that I think it's the AS or AG 101 actually was backlit, which is one of the first few that was handhelds that were backlit, which made it 100 times better, because then yeah, you could play it in the car and stuff like that, and you didn't need to buy it in a special add-on or something like that, so that way you could play it in the dark. So yeah, that's where it was going like that. So far, you know, it's been kind of like an amp, but these are starting to get more into the consoles that I'm more familiar with too, and I actually have more of an opinion on. Okay, so we are going to go to Game Boy. I might get a little backlash for this one, but I'm only going to put it in the A one. I'm not a big fan of the GameCube controller. Yes, I know people are going to lynch me and stuff like that. I guess it's because at that time of my life, I was playing Xbox and PlayStation games, so I was not used to the GameCube controller when I finally started playing it a few years. But I do respect the console as itself, because it had to go up against some heavy contenders when it came out. I know the mini discs were kind of cool, but they were very, very, brittle and kind of scary to have. I know that the controller, once you kind of get the hang of it, it is a little bit easier, but it's very confusing, especially when you're playing other games and it's telling you what buttons to hit, and you got to actually look down the controllers, because they seem like they're in weird spots. I know Nintendo has had a really big issue. They started off having the best controllers possible, you know, minimum effort, and then once the 64 hit, they started getting all funky with stuff. And you know, meanwhile, Sony and Xbox were perfecting their art from the beginning, except for the original Duke controller on the Xbox, but we'll talk about that at a different time. But game-wise, I think the game had a very, very good selection of games. Animal Crossing, Wind Waker, Mario Kart Double Dash, Smash Bros. Melee really hit the market there, and Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes one, I just recently picked that up, and that was, I think the reason it does get an A rating is because of how great the games are, how cool the console looks. I love the little compacted way that they built that thing. It was really awesome. And even had a little carrying case on it and stuff like that. And plus, you know, later on you could set it up to play your Game Boy games and stuff like that too. So that's another little cool add-on that Nintendo has been very innovative with that, I think, in the past. And sometimes, though, I think they do get their innovation a little out of whack. So next we're going to go on to the N64. I'm going to have to put that in the B1. And it is pretty close to the C1. I mean, once again, probably nostalgia reasons. Games like GoldenEye, Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and stuff like that are really hold dear to my heart. But that controller is absolute garbage. It is a dumpster fire, man. I loved games like Turok and stuff like that, but you can't play that game on there. I mean, back in the day, we struggled to play it, and we were playing the N64 24/7, and we couldn't even play games like that because the controller and the controls were horrible. Now, with modern age and stuff like that, they've a company, I think it was, I don't remember if it was Hyperkin or what, but they came together with the N64 Brawler controller, which was more of an Xbox PS setup, and way, way better, and it works 100 times more efficient and stuff like that. But I can't do that. And also the games, like I said, there's very nostalgia, very games that were very popular and stuff like that, but I just, you know, I can't go higher than okay rating on this because it wasn't like, I like having the N64 and I like playing it, but even nowadays, like, you know, I had more fun playing the N64 games on the Switch with a better controller than I did back in the day. I know I finally beat Star Fox 64 having to use a Joy-Con because it was dang near impossible to play it when I was younger on the N64. Alright, next we got okay, so one of the ones that started it all, the original Nintendo. This one's gonna go in the A1. I really like the Nintendo. The only reason it's not getting S is because it's hard, man. I know that's how they had to make the games back then. And I only want to really reserve the S ranking stuff for the games that were absolutely, or the consoles that are absolutely amazing. I love the Nintendo, don't get me wrong. I have very fond memories. One of my first systems I've ever played, I have a custom Nintendo and stuff from Russ Lyman. I have a regular Nintendo. Then I got a top loader, and I got the dog bone controllers and stuff like that. Like, I love it. And I love playing the games, too, if I got save states and stuff like that. But there is no forgiveness in those games. And there's, obviously, I have to keep it in the A because the games like, you know, Mario Brothers 3, which is like my absolute all-time favorite game. Final Fantasy, Metroid, Zelda, everything. I mean, this is one of the consoles that started the whole video game craze. I mean, Atari and stuff really killed the market, and Nintendo, you know, revamped it. If it wasn't for Nintendo and stuff like that, we probably wouldn't have the systems and games we have today. We wouldn't have big figures like Mario and stuff like that. But I do love the system. I do every once in a while just like to bust out, you know, the OG Nintendo, pull out a game, blow in the cart, throw it in, and just fire it up. I mean, I can't say enough about it, but just not enough for an S rating for me. Alright, so moving on to the Super NES. So this one is actually gonna be an S ranking. I didn't have one growing up. All my friends did. I was the Sega boy. So if we got tired of the Super Nintendo, we came over to my house and played the Sega and stuff like that. But it's just so good. Like, the controller was like the pinnacle of controllers. It was amazing. Absolutely. You had the 4 buttons over here. You had the buttons on the top, and you had the D-pad, start, select. It is very good. I remember the first time I played like Super Mario World. First time we played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Zelda, everything about the Super Nintendo was just absolutely amazing. Even the fun part of hitting the eject button in the middle that shoots the carts up, which became a game at some point. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I mean, I know Sega and them had some of those games too, but it was just like, I would go over to my buddy's house and we would play that thing for hours and not get mad whatsoever at it. Like, we'd get mad at NES games and stuff like that because they were so hard. But it seemed like the Super Nintendo games were a little bit more forgiving. Plus, it's just... even my Super Nintendo Classic for a while there did not leave. Like, when I had to swap out consoles, I always had that one tucked away in one of the freaking HDMI outlets, so I could always come back to it and stuff like that. So that is a very... it has to be S ranking. Alright, so we are going now onto the Switch. Oh, man. I've got to throw the Switch into the A ranking. The only reason I don't think I'm going to go with the S ranking is because I hate the Joy-Cons, man. I mean, I love the concept of them, but they're so tiny, they feel like they're going to break in my hand, and I've already had 2 of them that I've lost simply to drift. We've had to send them in and get them repaired and sent back, and that is just especially when they're not cheap to begin with. I think a pair of Joy-Cons is $80. And like I said, but my favorite things about it is the downloading of you know, the classic games on the thing, and it's like $60. Is it 20 or $60 for a whole year of yeah, Nintendo. So I mean, it's nothing like, it's just amazing to have. I loved all the classic games on it. I love most of the games on it. Me and my sons, we play Mario Kart and stuff all the time. And it's just, and then, yeah, let's say that we're going on a road trip or something like that. We can just bust it out of the thing. My son can go play it on the car. We got to go somewhere in a doctor's office and sit for a while. He can sit in, you know, play the handheld mode. And then when we get home, he just slides it back into the dock. and we can start playing from there. It's just, and the games are amazing. I mean, I can't give it an S rating just because, I mean, I hate the controller so much. It's just not. In the Switch Lite, I'm just gonna throw it in the B section because it's okay, but you can't hook it up to your TV. So I mean, you can't hook it up to the TV, and then otherwise it's just a Switch, but without docking mode. And docking mode, I think, is one of the key components with it, especially me being a gamer like that. So I can't say too much about the Switch Lite besides that stuff because we just talked about the Switch. Virtual Boy garbage. I don't really have to talk too much about it. I think what they did was cool. I think they tried to get ahead of the market. I like the design of it. I like everything about it. But everybody knows it's garbage. It's something to have for nostalgic view, or just kind of if you had one when you were younger, just something fun to have. But yeah, I don't know. It's I just can't. Yeah, it was a waste. Okay, the Wii U. This is S ranking. Now, this is one reason that this thing is the S ranking, is because it was just amazing, guys. And how amazing is it that most of the best games I think that are on Switch are ported from the Wii U. I think if this console would have had better marketing, would have had more stuff going on, it would have been a lot better sales and stuff like that. But I might have been admitted in the past that I didn't even know the Wii U was a whole different console. I thought it was an add-on to the original Wii, because they didn't really talk too much about it. There was no promotions about it. There wasn't too much talking. Plus, all they did is add a U on at the end, so it was just kind of like, okay, maybe it just must be the Wii, but with a handheld or something like that. That's what I got out of it. But the same concept, you can use a Pro controller. You can use the Motion Plus controllers. You can have it in handheld mode. You can play it on your TV, and one player can use the Wii controller, or can use the Pro controller while you're using the tablet while you're playing it on the TV. I don't think you couldn't do that with the. Yeah, you couldn't do that with the Switch. I mean, this thing was amazing, and the games, like I said, are very good. And then one of the huge other thing was the Virtual Console. I know we'll talk about that here in a second with Wii, but the Virtual Console also was amazing. All the classic games on there, not outrageous prices, like not too crazy prices. I know, like, I think I bought Mario Party 2 on there for $5. Bought a couple other old school games on there for a couple bucks. DuckTales, stuff like that. And I think it was just really ahead of its time. Plus that the handheld mode was actually pretty durable. Like, it's light and everything, okay. But like when I'm holding the Nintendo Switch tablet, I feel like if I drop that thing, it's done for. This one feels like it has a little bit more give to it because it was the thicker plastic. And yeah, I mean, the Wii U doesn't get it. It's one of the most underrated consoles, I think. And we talk about this at work a lot and stuff too, and with my other buddies, how the Wii U is just so underrated and definitely needs more love. And when I know that the games I should have brought a lot more of the games when they went way down in price, because I know that the Wii U games are starting to go up now. I watch a lot of channels like Gaming Off the Grid and Retro Ghetto and stuff like that, and their prices are just shooting up. It's crazy. Alright, so lastly, the Wii. This is going to be another controversial one. I'm giving this a B. It's so okay. The pros: Wii Sports, a launch game, absolutely amazing. We still play it till this day. The motion controllers at the time were very cool, very new, never before seen. It was okay. It was fun to play Zelda, swing the controller around, and then yeah, you know, Zelda does obviously on the screen. Or Link, sorry, wow, that was a bad moment. The Virtual Console, like we just talked about, the Wii U, that was originally started on the Wii, and that was unheard of at the time. You know, you had to buy the classic controller, but you could still play like original Mario games and Zelda, everything on there, and you can play it on your Wii. And then I guess one other thing too that was really good. You know what? We better let's put it up to A. because I forgot about the pack too, that you could also play, if you got some of the newer ones, you could play GameCube games on it. And then you had 4 slots on the top actually to play GameCube games too. So I forgot all about that. That is the next thing up there. Otherwise, it was a very kiddie console, guys, and I'm gonna just say that the games itself some are fun, but it had a lot of garbage. There was so much shovelware for this thing. Honestly, I'm putting it back at B after I think about the games. I can't make up my mind. It's in between A and B, but the games were just shovelware. They were not good at all. It was just like, once again, there's iconic games that, like Twilight Princess, Mario Kart Wii, which is one of I think my favorite Mario Kart was on Wii. Some of the Resident Evil games, like Umbrella, you know, whatever, the shooters, the rail shooters and stuff, which, like, once again, Game Off the Grid and them love to play. And yeah, I just not a fan of it. And then, like I said, there was no option for like a classic control. I mean, you only had the option of the classic controller and stuff like that. So it was not it's very hard to freaking figure out, man. Well, there you have it, guys. There's my ranking. Obviously, the GOATs, I think, were the Super Nintendo, the Wii U, the one, like, some of my favorite consoles in the A ranking were the Game Boy Color, the GameCube, the original Nintendo, a Switch. B's full of handhelds, the Switch Lite, once again, only because you couldn't hook it up to your TV, so that was a big deal breaker for me. The Wii, and the ones that I thought were absolute garbage were the Game & Watch and the Virtual Boy, and don't know because I didn't play enough Nintendo DS. Literally, maybe had 30 minutes playing DSs. I think I played the Phantom Hourglass Zelda one time, and that was it. So I'm not going to even... I know a lot of people loved them. They're a good handheld console, but like I said, in my personal opinion, I have not enough experience with them. And I don't really have that much experience with the Virtual Boy. I had played it a decent amount as a kid, but that's about it. So, alright guys, I've soaked up about 20 minutes of your time. I hope you guys like this video. If you'd like me to continue doing videos like these, make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think of my choices, good or bad. I know, like I said, I hate to put this up there and Steve Craig see these, and he's gonna be mad at me. He's gonna pull off the shirt, show off the pythons, and stuff a Game Boy down my throat. Thank you for watching, guys. Have yourself a great day. As always, stay retro, and thank you for stopping by. Woo! That was fun.